Shalom! This is Yair Davidiy speaking to you from the land of Israel. And now we're going to discuss different aspects of the qualities, characteristics, and prophecies concerning Joseph. Joseph was the son of Yaakov. Joseph gave birth to Ephraim and Manasseh. Ephraim and Manasseh, who both in their own right became independent tribes amongst the Israelite nations. And Joseph is very important in biblical exegesis and biblical commentaries and biblical philosophy, because Joseph represents the lost 10 tribes. Joseph is the head of the lost 10 tribes. Joseph received an extra blessing, more than all of the other tribes put together. The qualities, the blessings given to Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov was said that they would all come into fruition in manifold forms with a much greater intensity through Joseph and through his two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. And this is interesting, this is true, this is what we see in history. We identify descendants of Joseph with peoples who settled in the British Isles, and after that they colonized North America, the USA and Canada, also Australia and New Zealand, South Africa and other areas. And this is where we find a concentration of peoples from Joseph. In these areas we find a predominance of peoples from the 10 tribes in general. Remember, the 10 tribes were the dominant element amongst the Israelite nations. They were the most numerous portion of the Israelite nations. The 10 tribes had divided from Judah, who was in the south. From Judah had descended the present-day Jews. 10 tribes had separated themselves from them. They had created their own country, their own nation, which was conquered by the Assyrians. They were taken into exile, and in their places of exile, from their places of exile, they moved onwards, they moved outwards in several waves, different pathways of migration. Eventually all converged in the same area, and they came into Western Europe. Amongst the 10 tribes were the tribes of Joseph. And the tribes of Joseph, in their turn, reconverged, as if to say, in the British Isles, that is Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales. That is where the 10 tribes, especially Joseph, are to be found today. And aspects concerning Joseph in the biblical and Jewish rabbinical sources help prove our identification of these peoples of the British Isles and their offshoots in the USA and so on, with descendants of Joseph, as Joseph according to biblical terminology. And this is important. It is also very interesting and valuable, and these sources are true and convincing, and at the very least they deserve to be taken into consideration. And they are, relatively speaking, not known people. They are there, they exist in libraries, scholars are aware of them, but not even that, not so much. People do know about this. And they should know about it because it is important, and the writings themselves are considered authoritative, or at the very least deserving of reverence and due consideration. So that is what we're about to do. We're about to look at some of the sources in question. First of all, we should know that Joseph was nicknamed a bull in the Bible, and this is our impression, and this is confirmed by what we read. We find in Joseph as a bull. In Genesis 49, it says concerning Shimon and Levi. Shimon and Levi also from the 10 tribes. Shimon and Levi had been mainly responsible for selling Joseph to the Egyptians, and through that Joseph had gone down into Egypt, where he became the ruler of the country, as we see in the Bible. So it says, it refers to Shimon and Levi as having done damage or having lamed a bull. And the Midrash Aegel, which is an early source, says a bull. This means Joseph. As it says concerning Joseph, Deuteronomy 33:17, as the firstborn of his bull, majesty is his. So Joseph is identified as the bull in biblical symbolism. We also know that in the Midrash Bamidbar Rabbah 2:7, that the banner of Joseph had a black color, and the two tribes of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh, share this banner, but on the banner of Manasseh was a picture of a unicorn, and the banner of Ephraim was a picture of a bull. Ephraim was identified with a bull. Jeremiah 31:18, where he refers to Ephraim as an Aegel. An Aegel in Hebrew means a young bull, or bull calf. So Ephraim is referred to as an Aegel, a bull calf, and this word Aegel could have been pronounced as Angle, which is interesting because we have the Anglo-Saxons, the Angles Jews and the Saxons conquered England. The Angles gave their name to England. Angle is how Aegel could have been pronounced in the biblical Hebrew. And not only that, but we find on the continent that the word Aegel was sometimes used instead of angle. It was interchanged with angle. And so we have this word angle and Aegel being considered the two forms of the same word, just as it is in biblical Hebrew. And this word means bull calf. And from this word bull calf, the name England is derived, Anglo-land. It is worth noting that Britain, Great Britain, especially the English section of it, was popularly known as John Bull. John Bull was a nickname for the Anglo-Saxon people living in the British Isles. And this nickname Bull reflects their ancestry from Joseph, especially from Ephraim. May the Lord God of Israel bless you. Thank you.